Hi guys, welcome to the kitchen again. I have my little helper with me today, Tiana. This is my middle girl and she's about to leave home, so I'm going to teach her today how to make sauerkraut, but I also thought it was a really good one to do this week because of everything going around with the coronavirus and all that sort of stuff, and we need to keep our gut bacteria up and get some good probiotics into our systems and everything. So today we will be in the kitchen making sauerkraut, and it is the easiest thing to make ever. Like seriously, ever. It is so simple. So let's get to it. Okay, so I have pre-chopped all this cabbage. Now this is only about half of a big cabbage, and I pre-chopped it because you really don't want to watch me chopping cabbage. That's really boring. You can have it as fine or as thick as you like, depends on what sort of a texture you want afterwards. Some people cut it really small, others cut it a little bit bigger. I kind of like this because then it goes really nicely into sandwiches, really good on a toasted ham, cheese and tomato with some sauerkraut in it. Really nice. So for every 100 grams of cabbage, you need 2 grams of a good quality salt. So I've got a pink Himalayan salt here. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to sprinkle some of this over. And then my beautiful assistant Tiana, who is learning how to make this for when she goes out on her own, is going to start massaging it in to the cabbage. Like really get in there, like it's got the salt's got to cover all of it. So what the salt's going to do is it's going to inhibit the bad bacteria from growing, because bad bacteria won't grow in the salt, and it's going to allow the moisture from the cabbage to come out and become a really nice brine for the sauerkraut, so that there is a liquid over the top once we jar it up. So here I've got round about 2 kilos of cabbage, so I've got 40 grams of salt. Keep going. So we're just going to massage, like squeeze it and squeeze it. Get right in there. That's it. I'm going to come and help you squeeze it. So when I say massage it, I mean like give it a really good massage.
Sorry.
Scrunch it together and move all the bits around, and see how, I don't know if you can notice this in the camera, but you're starting to see it go glossy because the juices are coming out.
You can feel it when you massage it as well.
You can feel it when you massage it, so I just need you to do that for, I don't know, just a nice amount of time until it starts becoming really good. And once you've got the salt all combined throughout, so everything has a little bit of salt on it, and the moisture can come out of the cabbage. This will also, by doing that, will keep your cabbage crunchy, so you won't have such a soggy mixture. So now that we've done that, I'm just going to leave this for about an hour, and I'll come back and see what it's like. And once it, leaving it for an hour is going to just let it, all the moisture come out. And
whoa, look at all in your hands.
Yeah, look at that. Look at all that moisture on my hands. That's all from the cabbage, and that's what we want to come out. So I'm going to cover this, and I'll bring you back in about an hour for the next step. Okay, so around about an hour later, and as you can see, it's looking lovely and moist. And if you look down here, see all that beautiful liquid coming out? It's exactly what we want. So I like to flavour my sauerkraut. So today I'm going to use some cumin seeds. Cumin seeds? You know, just about that amount. And we've got Nigella seeds as well.
How many?
around about that amount, you know. Yep. And we've also got some caraway seeds that we're going to put in here as well. I'll just take this out for a minute. Now we're just going to mix all that in again so that all those spices and seeds get nicely mixed throughout the whole entire cabbage. Now if you really wanted, you could do some grated carrot in here as well. Just carrot's got a high sugar content to it, so it's going to ferment faster. So, but it does taste really nice with carrot. Now that we've done that, it's all mixed through really nicely. I'll take most of this off my hands. Now what I'm going to do is get some jars. So the jars I'm going to use are just second-hand jars. They've had stuff in it, they've gone through the dishwasher, and so I'm going to pack them nicely into this. If you have a fermenting crock pot, use that, but this is just the easy way to do it, and we're all about ease. None of this fancy schmancy stuff. And you're going to need to pack it in tight to the jar. Try not to leave any air bubbles. And as you're packing it in and you're pressing it down, more of the liquid's going to come out. So I'll show you this one and then I'll turn the camera off and do all the rest and then show you at the end. But if we just keep packing it and pressing it in, this is why I like to use a soup spoon, because you can really get it and press it in all nicely. So really pack it in, give it a good press down. And I don't know if you can see that, some of the moisture's coming up as you're pressing it down, which is a good thing because you're going to need some moisture on the top, a brine solution on the top, so that it doesn't go moldy. Because remember, the salt keeps the bad bacteria at bay, but it allows the good bacteria to feed. So I really press that in, and what I'm going to do for this one is I'm just going to steal some of this. But if you don't end up having enough moisture for it to cover your whole entire sauerkraut and all your jars, you can make up a brine solution, which is 1 cup of water to 1 tablespoon of salt. And what you do is you just make sure that's all underneath. I might even put a bit more of a brine solution in there later. And you simply just put the lid on, but don't put it too tight so the bacteria can't get in, but a little bit of air can get out. And then just leave it on your bench to ferment for, I would check it in about a week, but keep an eye on it every day. And what you're looking for is air bubbles to start coming up on the sides, and just get them to come up, and that's the fermentation process starting to happen. All right, so we've managed, out of that 2 kilos worth of cabbage, we've got 6 jars, and we haven't quite got enough moisture in those jars to allow them to lacto ferment. So what we're going to do is, I've already made up here a brine solution, so 1 cup of water and a tablespoon of salt mixed together, and we're just going to top up all of these so that they have enough. So we'll start with this one. Yeah. That should be enough. So I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. See how there's lots of liquid in there, but there's just not enough sitting on the top to keep it all underneath. So with the top up of the of the brine solution. It's all underneath in a nice salty water or salty fluids. And so from there we're just going to put the lid on, but not really tight, just so that some air can escape but the bad bacteria can't get in. We're going to leave that sitting on our bench top, and we will keep an eye on it and watch the bubbles come up. About a week to 2 weeks, depending on the temperature where you are, depends on how fast it'll happen. So Tiana, now that you've made a sauerkraut with me, do you reckon when you leave home you'll be able to make your own?
No. I'm still coming around and here picking it up every week.
Is that because you're lazy?
No. It's just
Or were my instructions too hard?
No, you just make the best sauerkraut.
Oh, thanks.
That's okay.
All right, well guys, you guys stay safe, stay at home, try not to get the virus, and just be really, really careful about everything. Enjoy making your sauerkraut and getting good gut bacteria into you. Have fun, guys. See you next time. Bye.